Welcome to Business Outlook, a podcast by the Albuquerque Journal where we focus on 4 revolving themes: real estate, small business, emerging leaders, and technology.
CNM is truly one college with infinite possibilities in tech and data sciences. CNM offers programs where everyone can learn about software, apps, or how to build websites. You can also choose from AI programs and machine learning, the Internet of Things, and so much more. CNM, one college, infinite possibilities, and a proud sponsor of the Albuquerque Journal's Business Outlook.
Welcome to another episode of Business Outlook. Today we're focusing on emerging leaders. My name is Megan Gleason, and I'm an assistant business editor at the Albuquerque Journal. Today with us we have Martin Gallegos, who's an HR manager at Sandia National Labs, and Liz Earls, who's the executive vice president at Capra Bank. The thing that connects both of them is that they were part of Leadership New Mexico's Connect New Mexico program. So guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us. Excited to be here.
So Leadership New Mexico was founded in 1995, and it helps develop leaders in New Mexico, teaching people about the unique challenges and opportunities we see in the land of enchantment. The program, there's a couple different programs as part of Leadership New Mexico, but our guest today took part in the Connect New Mexico program, which is specifically for young professionals and helps them sharpen their skills a little bit. So do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Liz, do you want to start?
Yep, Liz Earls, EVP, Capra Bank, born and raised in New Mexico and went through the program in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And my name is Martin Gallegos. I'm an HR business partner manager at Sandia National Labs. I help lead a team that stewards talent strategies around leadership. And so really excited to have gone through the program in 2023.
Yeah, very cool. So Liz, why don't you kick us off by just telling us more about what Leadership New Mexico is? You're a board member.
Yep, I'm new to the board, so we just had our first board meeting here a few weeks ago. But you did a good job summing it up. They've been around for 25 years. We've had 1,800 New Mexicans go through the program, and to have different sessions that go around the state to help educate and connect leaders from New Mexico.
Yeah, a really important thing to be doing. Yeah. Martin, how did you hear about the program? How did you get involved?
Yes, I'm fortunate at the laboratories. They really invest in leadership and in personal and professional development for our staff. And so fortunately, this is a program that we try and send somebody to every year. And I was fortunate enough to be chosen for the program last year. And so just really, again, a passion of mine. I think it was important for me as in my role in HR professional to understand what the program was about and to see kind of what we're sending our leaders through in this program. So definitely a benefit and a great opportunity I was excited to take advantage of.
Yeah. And what was your biggest takeaway from Connect New Mexico?
So I think there are probably 2. One is that there's a misconception that's common that leadership is a title or some type of official authority in an organization. And really this program helped me step back to think about leadership being anything that can be formal or informal in terms of just being an influence, helping to lead from where you are, and just looking at opportunities to make a difference. And so that was one of them. The other was really looking at how diverse our state was. I mean, I think it's easy to kind of get your head looking down in terms of where you live or what part of the state that you're from. And this program really gave an opportunity to step back and look at lots of different facets of our state and our economy, our policies, the social aspects of what our state has going on. And so just so much eye-opening information that we were afforded to be able to have going through this program.
Yeah, New Mexico is such a unique state. Yeah. So its leadership obviously is going to be just as unique.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What was your biggest takeaway, Liz?
For me, it was how much I didn't know that I didn't know. And I don't know if you had that same experience, but
absolutely.
Having grown up here and worked here for a while, when I went through, now it's been over a decade ago, but I remember going and thinking, I've, been to Carlsbad, I've been to Las Cruces, I have friends throughout the state, and you'd sit in these programs and learn about the amazing companies that are here and people and policy and different things going on. So it was very eye-opening and now to this day, I'm like, I know nothing. I'm learning every day about everything, and that's okay. But
yeah,
that was my biggest takeaway.
And why'd you decide to become a board member?
When Diego asks you to do something, you do it. But aside from that, there's a few different reasons why I'm part of it, and let me step back a bit. So the bank that I'm with, we opened our doors here in Albuquerque 2 months ago. So brand new startup. It's a bank out of Dubuque, Iowa, but we're the third market, so new market and new bank to the state. But we spend a lot of time talking about how do we support the community? What are the ways that we can do that? A lot of it is our day-to-day. The other piece of it is serving on boards. And so this is a perfect board for me to not only personally but professionally to be a part of. So I'm honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, very cool. So one of the things with Leadership New Mexico is to kind of deepen people's knowledge of the state, right, and the opportunities and challenges that we uniquely face. So what do you think are some of the biggest challenges that we face in the state, Martin?
So I'll start with a disclaimer that these are my personal opinions, obviously not those of the lab, but I really think that for me, one of the underpinnings of many of the challenges we have is improving education in the state. And so it's so multifaceted in terms of that challenge, right? It's being able to help improve education for high-risk populations, being able to help parents with supporting their children as they go through school, being able to help educators with skill building in terms of continuing education for teachers and teachers' age. So it's just so much, I think, that is multifaceted in that challenge, but also is the biggest opportunity for us to improve that I think then helps us to tackle some of the other issues downstream, like, poverty and addiction and crime and things of that nature. So we've made some headways, I think, as a state, but again, it's just going to require some more intention and just planning around how we can continue to improve education in this state, both kind of as a primary education as well as secondary education with our colleges and trade schools.
Yeah. I was just at a panel hosted by Area, and they had some folks in from Arizona, and they had kind of said everything in this state, a good economy revolves around a good education.
Right.
And I think a lot of people can be surprised when I talk to business leaders. This comes up all the time, is what's the biggest issue? Education. And that might not be the first thing you think of when you're talking to business leaders, but it is so integrated into the economy, New Mexico as a whole.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I definitely see that as a challenge, but again, our biggest opportunity. So if we can get there, it's going to have a huge impact to lots of different aspects of our state.
Yeah, of course. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges we face, Liz?
Education, hands down. Yeah. I remember actually in one of our sessions for Leadership New Mexico, we had the opportunity to hear from Steve McKernan, who is the CEO for UNM Hospital at the time. And somebody asked him, if you had one more budget dollar, where would you put it? And you're thinking, like, I don't know, insulin or, like, I don't know. And he said, education. I wouldn't even put it at the hospital. It'd be education. And that resonated because he was saying a lot of, like, the volume that they see at the hospital or a lot of problems that we have in the state. The more educated we are, the less those problems become. Yeah. And then not to mention just creating opportunity for our kids and students. I see the CNM is the sponsor here, but I was at a CNM dinner last night, and it was incredible, too, all the work. We're doing so much work. It's fascinating. So the more we can do in education, I think the better off we'll be.
Right. Yeah, and especially in New Mexico with a state that has such deep-rooted poverty in a lot of areas, making sure that accessibility for education is there. It's a big thing.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Well, on the brighter side of things, in terms of opportunities for New Mexico, what do you see, Martin?
So part of what I learned in going through this program was kind of the eye-opening experience of learning about all the different types of industry we have in the state. And so, when you think of the economy, it's largely centered around oil and gas, agriculture, the laboratories, and some higher education institutions we have. And so I continue to think about the opportunity we have to diversify our economy around bringing small business in, making sure we talked a little bit about making sure locations are ready for big business to move in and kind of get ramped up quickly. So I think we continue to see things like Amazon and Netflix and different large institutions come into the state, seeing it as an attractive opportunity. And if we can just continue to kind of find those low-hanging fruits for diversifying our economy in the state, I think the better off we'll all be. And that goes back to, again, providing a labor workforce that's ready with education in terms of some of that challenge that we talked about. So lots of things that go hand in hand as far as challenges and those opportunities.
Yeah. We're seeing massive companies set up in New Mexico, especially with some of the push from the clean energy federal dollars we're getting, like Evon Solar and Maxion. But when I'm out talking to the energy companies, one of the issues that I keep running into is who's doing the work. Do we have enough hands to do the work with all of this money that we have right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And as an HR professional at one of those scientific laboratories at Sandia, we're seeing it every day in terms of just the challenge we have to make sure that we can find the right workforce and be able to fulfill our mission needs. And I'm sure that other industry are going to feel some of that crunch moving forward.
Yeah, of course. Well, Liz, what opportunities do you think we have in New Mexico?
Mine's kind of a cop-out because I think it's the same as the challenge, but education. I was recently up in northern New Mexico, and we heard from different labs. And it's neat because it's starting, what you mentioned about the workforce, there's a lot of work going on to develop programs for the trades and that are catered to some of the businesses that are here and are finding that we need more skilled in whatever aspect. So it's a challenge, it's an opportunity, and there's a lot of work being done there. So
yeah. I was just at ACE Leadership High School, which trains students in trades and CTE, and we're seeing a lot more focus on that, especially from the legislature, a move to kind of push students to, it doesn't just have to be college as your route. There are a lot of routes you can take in becoming a leader. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're talking about New Mexico. State question, red or green? Martin?
That's a great question. I think it depends on the meal, because for breakfast it's red. For any type of dinner and lunch, it's got to be green for me. So it's hard to say. It really depends.
Yeah. Liz?
I know that's a cop-out as well, so I'm sorry about that.
It depends. It depends. I grew up only green. I branched out. Now I do some red. But green. If I had to pick
generally green. I'm generally green as well. But I feel like that's a really good New Mexican answer, is it depends.
Right, absolutely.
Although, I did a story about chili recently, and somebody from Colorado emailed me because the story had red or green, and the answer in state law is Christmas, please. And this person said, first of all, New Mexico chili is not that good.
Oh, wow.
I know, Colorado chili is just as good, if not better. And then they said, and no self-respecting New Mexican answers Christmas. I was like, yeah, the divide is real.
It's an emerging topic. Huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, I want to wrap up with a little challenge for you both. So in 60 seconds or less, I want you each to describe what you love most about living and working in New Mexico. Liz, do you want to start us off?
I will take 2 seconds. It's the people. It's the people.
Yeah. Very diverse culture.
Yeah, diverse. And it's just, everybody's pleasant. I think we're all trying to do the right thing. Love who I work with, love, the families I get to interact with at my kids' school. It's the people.
Yeah, we all want to make New Mexico better.
Yeah, and we got incredible people doing a lot of incredible work. So it's fun every day to see that.
All right, Martin, 60 seconds.
So I think it's similar to what Liz described. I mean, for me, it's the resiliency that New Mexicans have to overcome and to come together to meet challenges. Every organization I've ever worked at has had some type of mission. And in that mission, the calling is really higher than themselves, right? It's how do we make our purpose something that helps the community or helps others? And so there seems to be this spirit of New Mexicans that we have to come together and be resilient and help each other out when we need to. So love the state. Don't plan on wanting to leave. There's 12 months of golf around here, which I love. And so definitely something else I really appreciate about living here in New Mexico.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you both so much for being on today.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Be sure to tune into Business Outlook every Monday. And I think that's a wrap.
Thank you for joining us. You can find this episode and all our podcasts on the Albuquerque Journal website, abqjournal.com, as well as on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. If you enjoy our podcasts, please like and subscribe, and consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Albuquerque Journal to help us continue to bring you more content like this. See the show notes for a discount on a digital subscription. Thank you for supporting the Albuquerque Journal, New Mexico's leading local news source.